And I'm Ryan, and today we're putting some serious miles behind us on our road to Alaska, starting out at Muncho Lake and then moving on to a bucket list hot spring on the Alaskan, Liard Hot Springs, where Cam and I have agreed it is one of the best hot springs we have ever been to, not just on the Alaskan, but on our whole journey in RV life. After that, Cam and I add ourselves to the Sign Forest and then restock at Whitehorse, where we find a little hidden gem, glass blowing.
Good morning from Muncho Lake. We're in the British Columbia Canadian Rockies, and we tried our hand at fishing on this lake for some grayling and trout, and unfortunately we didn't find any fish. They weren't biting or jumping, and also our inflatable is leaking again. So we've given up on that for now, but we are still enjoying this beautiful scenery and this incredible lake, and this is a massive lake that you cannot miss on your epic Alaska road trip.
As our drive continued into the northern Rockies, the road started to get a lot more wavy and a little more diverse than the first start of the Alaskan highway, where it was a lot more straight shots. And the weather also took some major changes. It was super unpredictable, and the weather apps were not reliable at all. We were getting rain, sun, even a little snow the other day up here. It makes planning for what we're gonna do quite difficult, so you kind of just gotta go with the flow out here. Right now we have some beautiful skies, but this has been pretty consistent, where we get sun in the morning and then it kind of turns cloudy and crummy in the afternoon. So our plan for some crummy weather is to head over to some hot springs where we can swim in some warm pools. This stretch of the Alaskan highway is incredible for wildlife viewing. On our drive, we actually spotted as many as 9 bears in a single day, as well as caribou, porcupines, stone sheep, and even bison. The highway is cut back about 50 feet on each side, so you can see animals sooner and slow down in time. Because of this, we barely saw any animals that have been hit by vehicles, which is awesome to see in such a wild place. It really makes it feel like the drive is part of the adventure itself, with so many chances to see wildlife safely right from the side of the road. We just had a little snack at the campground at Liard River Hot Springs Provincial Park. There's actually a little bit of a nicer campground right across the street. I think they have like showers and full hookups and stuff like that. But $65 for full hookups, Canadian, and then here was $26, which includes entry into the hot springs.
Yeah, and that's $5 each. So camping was basically 16 Canadian.
Yeah, super cheap. This whole place is surrounded by electric fence, and the entrance to this thing is super fortified. So you're really like immersed in nature, but they do a great job of making sure not too immersed. So like I was saying, you are totally secured with the electric fence, but on the way to hot springs, you now leave the confines of your safety. They actually put this boardwalk in because you're going over this marshy area, and it was made to help preserve this while still allowing access to the hot springs.
Canada is so good about like preserving. This will still be here, I'm sure, in 20 years. And this hot springs has been around, and people discovered it back when they were building the Alaska Highway, 1942, I think.
This is crazy. Whoa.
All right, let's put our stuff in this cubby right here and let's get in. Okay, I think we're starting at the coldest part, and it's pretty warm.
This is nuts.
So cool. This is the nicest hot springs I've ever been to.
This is just, it doesn't feel like it's real.
It feels
How is
like
this possible?
something that you go to in like Mexico or Costa Rica or something, not near the Canadian Rockies.
It's so warm.
This is amazing. I love this.
Huge. I mean, it's the end, but like, where'd it go? Fishes.
How hot? Too hot?
How do you feel?
I feel very sleepy and hot.
Well, that was one of the most beautiful hot springs we've ever been to. We've done quite a number of hot springs in our travels, and that one was just the most unique, the most beautiful, just crazy.
Yeah, that has to be the best. And $5 a person, super reasonable.
So the hot spring's set up kind of like just one big river, if you will, and at the base you have your hottest temperatures, which get up to 107 degrees Fahrenheit, and then it kind of follows down the river over like a little man-made waterfall, and then goes completely into like the woods. It's unlike any other hot spring ever.
Yeah, and it wasn't too busy, which was really nice. There's a place to put all of our stuff while we're in the water, and the water is also really clear.
Because we're staying at the campground, you can kind of just come back and forth whenever you want. It gets you entry basically your whole stay.
Yeah, we might even come back tonight. It's open from 7 a.m. till 11 p.m. So we could eat dinner and come back.
Which may sound a little crazy because there's no like artificial light out there. But one thing we forgot about, everyone kind of knows that Alaska doesn't get nighttime in the summer. We had the thought like, oh, we'll hit Alaska and then that'll happen. And come to realize, and in hindsight, makes sense. It kind of progressively gets to that. So 11:30 last night, I went outside and it was still like dusk and another 1,600 miles from Alaska. Pretty hard to see in the distance, but there is a moose right out there. Second moose sighting of the trip. Apparently moose are really common here. They seem to also really like the warm water.
It literally feels like you're entering Jurassic Park. These electric fences in this gate. Good morning from Liard Hot Springs. We had a really enjoyable day yesterday, so we just needed the one night. We actually saw a few buffalo last night. We were trying to walk over to the overflow camping on our evening walk after dinner, and there they were right outside the gate, so we just booked it right back inside of the electric fence because we don't want to mess around with those on foot. It makes sense why we're inside electric fence for sure.
We're on our way to potentially an awesome boondocking spot with some hiking, fishing, and we're gonna go try to restock the freezer. All right, so unfortunately, within the last 8 months, camping has been no longer permitted, but that is not going to stop us from still doing some fishing. Still early in the day, so we're gonna make the most of this and then go find a new spot. What the hell?
This
is a little steep. Well, we made it to the bottom of the stairs just to remember we forgot the bear spray, so. Oy. Well, it appears we are here a little too early in the season. The water is quite high and really rushing, so we kind of didn't think there was much hope to begin with. But threw some casts out, nothing. So So, if nothing else, it was a gorgeous view, and we'll definitely be back when the water's a little lower. We made it to the Sign Forest, which is an awesome place to stop on the way to Alaska.
What's the sign we're gonna spy for?
I think first sign's gotta be Idaho.
All right, when do we go? Now?
I guess now.
Run! Colorado, Nebraska, Florida,
Massachusetts,
Virginia, Alaska, Kansas,
California. I've seen two. Oh, I can do even better.
Washington.
I win.
Going. Sandpoint? No way! That's freaking cool.
Who'd have thought? We have a Sandpoint sign. That may not officially be Sandpoint, Idaho, but
Look
we're
at
gonna say it is.
WSU. Again, this is so cool. Next time we come here, we're gonna have a sign.
We
Fingers crossed.
may have made a realization that we may have an old license plate. Ha!
We do? Oh, Washington.
It's not Idaho, but
Hey, it's an old one. We can do it. All right, let's do this thing.
perfect. We're official.
Good job, Ryan. Team effort.
All right, so after leaving our last boondocking spot up by the Signpost Forest, it was getting a little desolate out there, so we continued trekking on all the way to Whitehorse in the Yukon. We made it here, and it has been great, kind of like getting society again. We've gone to a bunch of stores, fully restocked, and while driving around and restocking, we actually found a glass blowing facility and signed up for kind of an ad hoc glass blowing class that we're gonna be doing this afternoon. Neither Cam and I have ever done that, and it seemed like just too fun of an opportunity to pass up. So we're gonna take you guys along to do that as well. And after that, it's back on the road after being fully restocked and heading back up to Alaska. We're like 3.5 hours from Dawson City, and that will probably be our next stop. We made it to Lumel Studios, which is a glass blowing studio and art class, where we're gonna be doing a 30-minute glass blowing kind of like lesson tutorial. We're hoping that the weather was gonna kind of be cruddy because you have a kiln in there. It's really nice and warm, but it's actually the nicest it's been out here.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I've only been to the Tacoma Glass Museum when I was super small, and I think you did too, right?
Mhm.
And I haven't seen glass blowing, not to mention ever have done it since then. So we're gonna do it together. The whole studio. Which one between these two, right? We're doing it. What she's doing. It's crazy. This is how we bind to Tacoma, Washington. That's pretty cool, Ryan. Ooh, this is gonna look so good. Whoa, that turned out really good. Nice. A flower and an orb. We just wrapped up Whitehorse by picking up our glass blowing creations, and we are hitting the road, and we're so excited to take you along with us in this next episode where we're going to be taking you guys to Dawson City and even all the way to Alaska this time. So we'll see you then.